HarperAudio Australia presents Tipping Point by Dinuka Mckenzie, read by Elizabeth Brennan. To Scott, Harvey and Edie for seeing all of me and loving me anyway. Author's note. The events and characters in this novel are fictional. Whilst some real-life localities are referred to, the township of Esserton, set in the northern rivers of New South Wales on Bundjalung country, is a fictional place that exists only in the author's imagination. This novel was written on Dharawal country. A tiny, furry creature scurries across the forest floor. Its eyes are tuned to the dark, its body pausing, quivering, testing the air for the scent of predators. There is no moon, and the trees knit together in an inky tangle of branches, leaves and roots. The night air is heavy with an endless summer heat, a thick, suffocating torpor that seems to be waiting for a flame to spark and engulf the whole lot. The bushland breathes and waits. The cracks that rang through the night air a minute ago have faded, the reverberation of sound absorbed into the atmosphere, like it had never been. The cacophony of insects and nighttime critters has resumed, indifferent to the momentary interruption of humans and their unfathomable deeds. On the ground, several meters away, a shape lies sprawled across the parched grass, slowly cooling and leaking. A new liquid joining the earth, iron red seeping into chocolate brown, blood and bone coming home. 1. Tuesday, 3 weeks to Christmas. Luke Grayling focused his gaze a centimetre to the left of the HR woman's face, so it seemed as though he was looking straight at her, but actually he could avoid her expression. The barely suppressed contempt and something akin to excitement, was it? He concentrated instead on the sweeping cityscape visible through the glass panels that took up the entire wall of the level 22 meeting room. The azure blue of a boutique hotel rooftop pool, visible in the distance, along with Hyde Park beyond, surrounded by craning skyscrapers full of their own importance. Sydney, all shiny and bright, living up to its hype in the December heat. He was surprised that this was the meeting room they had chosen. But maybe it was a calculated decision. They had done this before, and the view had proved to be a helpful distraction, something to focus on other than the face of your executioner. She was speaking again. He had forgotten her name already. It had slipped in and out of his memory like a fleck of dust, unnoticed. Kylie? Karen? Kira? Perhaps? Or maybe something entirely different. Julianne? Edith? Selena? A smile hovered against his cheek muscles. His eyes flickered across to Will, his boss. No, his former boss, he reminded himself, and the urge to smile shriveled and died. His former manager's expression was glassy. The jovial, consider me a friend rather than a superior shtick was a distant memory. He imagined that Will had tried his best, defended him as far as he could. Or maybe he hadn't. Luke would never know. After all, Will's own survival was at stake. In the circumstances, there would be no reference. The company was in full crisis management mode, and Luke was being dealt with, expunged and deleted, before his behaviour could publicly taint or sully the good name of Hull Hayward Financial. Or worse, for news of the scandal to somehow reach the waiting arms of social media. For now, it had been contained within the auspices of an internal investigation and sealed by a non-disclosure agreement. The stab of pain in his chest spiked. Karen Edith Selena was laying out the terms of his termination package. His entitlements would be paid, which was something, at least. He would not be allowed to return to his desk, the NDA clauses coming into immediate effect. Following the surrender of his security pass, work mobile and laptop, he would be shown out of the building, just like in the movies. If he hadn't seen it played out previously during rounds of redundancies, he would have laughed. But now, it was his turn, and he didn't have the excuse of a company downsize. Everyone here knew what this was. He was being fired. Afterwards,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?